difference between time and rate of change?
But rate of change is...
Because I think of time as the averaged rate of change. And so when you say that time slows down as you move faster, you're not saying much more than as you move faster,
That's just a question. You see, I think the mistake here is to think of time as an objective thing.
Yes.
Which is attached to this model, and it's
right,
not.
Right.
There is no concept of when such an event happens. You might say, well, is this event later than that event? Well, if they're what's called space-like separated, that is to say, you'd have to go faster than light to get from one to the other. It's a meaningless statement because there is no universal concept of time in this model.
Right.
It's just not there. I think, you see, that goes against what we normally feel about time.
Yes.
We think about time as progressing and somebody on the Andromeda galaxy.
Well, we experience duration, so...
Yes, but you see, what about when is now? I often use this, I think I use this example of two people crossing the street. And they're just walking speed, crossing the street. And the question is, according to one of these people, there is at the same time as they cross each other, there is an event on the Andromeda galaxy where a space fleet has been launched and they're going to invade the Earth. According to the other one, the decision has not even been made yet as to whether they're going to invade the Earth or not. Now, this is only because you're trying to transfer your local notion of what you mean by time to the Andromeda galaxy. Mm-hmm. And this depends on what frame you're using. So if you're using a one-moving frame, it hasn't happened yet, and the other one, it has. You just have to get used to that idea, that there is no universal notion of time ticking away.
Independently of frame of reference.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, yes. Okay.
So we get used to that.
Can I go sideways one more time? Because
Okay,
I'd like to ask you, like I said, I've been wanting to talk to a theoretical physicist for forever. I'm really curious about black holes. And so I have this idea. So tell me what you think about this. So when a star collapses past the neutron stage into a singularity, and let's say there's multiple black holes. Mm-hmm. Are they all the same singularity?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Well, I mean, you can link up them somewhere, but no, we don't. Apart from saying we don't know, I would say no, they're different singularities.
Well, I was
trying to close that statement, and we don't really know what we're talking about here. But go on.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I thought about this. Partly, God, it was so long ago that I thought about this that I can hardly even remember what I thought. But I was trying to wrestle with the fact that you get this unbelievably intense, not even single point gravitational field. And there are strange effects of time inside the event horizon of a black hole from the perspective of an observer. Now, if I remember correctly, if you were watching someone descend into a black hole from outside, don't they go slower and slower?
You would see them hovering on the horizon and then fading away very quickly, actually.
Okay.
They would just fade, yeah.
They would fade. What happens to their sense of time once they pass the event horizon compared to the sense of time, the framework?
Well, they would go right through and they wouldn't notice anything at the horizon.
Right, and what would that look? And you wouldn't be able to see them
anymore.
That's a very
big black hole.
Yeah.
Otherwise, a little one, they would have been wrecked by the tidal forces. But yeah, if it's a big enough black hole, you could imagine going through it. You wouldn't even know you'd gone through the horizon.
If you could see someone descending into it, how long would it take them to arrive at the surface? Is that forever?
Not for them, no.
No, but for you watching them.
Well, you just see them. You don't ever see inside the horizon. The light can't get out from inside the horizon.
Right.
So you never see that. That's right. So they could be watching their watches and thinking, whoops, we've gone through now. And they would do that. But if you could see their watch from outside, you'd see the hand slowing down and getting closer and closer to the moment when they cross the horizon. But fading out at the same time.
But it would be slowing down.
Yes. You'd see it slowing down, yes.
Okay. Then, if you could see inside, would you see that continuing to slow?
No. Sorry, I'm not sure what you mean by seeing inside.
once they pass the event horizon, you can't see them anymore.
That's
but as
right.
they approach the event horizon, if you were watching them, you'd see their clock slowing.
Yes.
So
if you were outside.
If
yes.
you're outside.
Yeah.
So then I'm wondering, you can't tell this, but their clock is going to slow the same way as they continue moving towards the black hole. And
See,
then
that's the trouble. You see, it's the wrong way to think of it.
Okay.
Is that their clock is there a time which their clock registers? That's going to saying there is a universal time which everybody
Right.
is supposed to respect in some sense. Relativity says no. There is no notion of
but I'm
universal
assuming
time.
their clock would continue to slow relative to you. I'm not trying to assume an absolute time in the question. I'm wondering is that as they approach, I know, the problem that you can't detect it is the problem here, but as they're moving towards the star relative to someone who's watching them, their clocks are slowing.
According to
This frame of reference.
signals that you would receive, maybe that clock, it emits a little flash of light
Yeah,
every second.
yes,
like
that,
that,
exactly.
And you see, look, those flashes are slowing down. And
Getting farther apart.
yes, that's right.
Okay, so then from the external perspective, I was thinking that it would take them forever to reach the singularity. And if it takes forever, then that would be the same amount of time that it would take everything in the universe to collapse back into the initial singularity if the collapsing universe theory is correct. And so the reason there's infinite gravitation in some sense at the point of the singularity is because that's a point at which the end of the universe is already manifest in the current universe. And that seems to me that would be, what would you say, in keeping with the idea in some sense of a block universe.
I'm not quite sure I see the problem here. You're thinking about the whole universe, a collapsing model.
Yes.
Which you could certainly
Yes.
have.
And I'm also wondering if that's a model that you think is...
No, it's not my model.
It's
but
not,
it's certainly
okay.
a model that people can consider, sure. And you might have an entire universe which is collapsing inwards, yes. And then you would hit the singularity before you see somebody else hitting it. In those models, you would find you're in trouble and that your curvature is getting too big and you be killed by it. As you were watching somebody else and you see, no, they're happily not nearly there yet.
Right, not nearly there yet.
So
yes.
that's what you would.
Yeah,
that's what you would.
That is what
suggest,
you.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.